And the moment, so somebody told me in the beginning of my career, or honestly, as a fresher, I didn't get jobs. They said, because we've got freshers, we don't require you. They just said that we don't require freshers. So come back when you've done something, and we'll see. I didn't get internet to grow up with. I got internet after I graduated and started working. I had my first phone when I started working. And this was 2003. So the first 28, 21 years, I didn't have any phone. There was nothing else that was coming to me, and I was given a deadline, that you'll have to figure out some professional thing that you want to take on.
Okay, so my name is Nidhi. I am the director of the institute. Thank you so much for doing this with us. And Swati, first of all, I want to understand that what's your background? Like, what have you studied? How did you decide to take virtual production? Because I'm pretty sure when I was just going through your LinkedIn profile, and you have started in I think in 2003, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So in 2003, you decided to take virtual production as a profession. It is quite interesting.
Production wasn't in at that time. That's too far beyond.
Yeah.
My background is actually not films, and I'm a graduate in botany biochemistry, and I moved on to actually wanted to become an architect at some point, but then fate has it, I just didn't pass the exam. That's really the only brutal truth. I gave my JJ exam. I was in Bombay, and then I studied. I did my graduation at Xavier's, and then I, one day just realized that I don't want to study further in science. And I was a science graduate, so there was nothing else that was coming to me, and I was given a deadline, that you'll have to figure out some professional thing that you want to take on, and I just happened to land into a space where there was a lot of animation around me, and everything was all about dinosaurs and animated characters, and it was just a very interesting world, and I just took it on. So for a very long time, even when I was in it, I was quite clueless. It took me some time to really realize the focus. But I started off with 3D animation series work with Prana. So I was a BG texture artist. And then I moved on to production. So in Prana, I got that opportunity and I moved to production. And from there, I've always been into production, and I am actually a VFX producer and also a virtual production producer.
But I have a question. A lot of people have this assumption, not a misconception, but an assumption that you can only enter virtual production or VFX if you are into sketching, if you are into coloring, if you are artist of a sort. So was it your direct inclination, or were you inclined towards art or colors or sketches or?
No, see, yes, my family members were very inclined towards art, not me. And I'm more like a doodler, not really into fine arts at all. I'm a science graduate, so art wasn't really the forte. It was more of the interest of doing something and working in the scene. We've grown up watching these cartoons, and we've grown up doing all this, right? We watched Superman when we were growing up. We watched, Johnny Quest, and we watched Johnny Bravo, and we watched Penelope Pitstop, and we watched so many of these Cartoon Network things. And prior to that, we used to watch Spider-Man. So it was just an interest, and I think I was always inclined more towards 2D than 3D while growing up, and it was like the biggest deal to have a TV in your room and to be able to keep watching Cartoon Network all day. By the time it finally happened, I started working, so I couldn't really watch much. But but I was working in it, and it was very interesting. The whole going through things, how things move through departments. It was very, very interesting for me.
So your curiosity helped you reach here.
Yeah,
it's important, right? So now, because a lot of people do not understand what a VFX producer or a virtual producer is, so आप मुझे ये explain करो कि what do you exactly do for a layman or somebody who thinks कि VFX producer बहुत fancy काम करते हैं. फैंसी के साथ आप कितना नॉट करते हो और कितनी मीटिंग्स करते हो, वो भी बताओ प्लीज.
I mean, you're in meeting all day. Basically, when you are somebody who's into production department, it's actually a lot of accounting of other people's work, and how you drive them into driving the like. And as you go up the ladder in production departments, you actually end up becoming the driving force to delivery of a project. You know, your end aim is to deliver a project, whether it's a release date. Like in films, it's the release date where it revolves around, and otherwise it is a project delivery date that was given by the client. So as you evolve, first you start managing smaller things. When you begin with this, you start with small things. So you start with maybe a delivery of a shot, or maybe a delivery of an asset, a 3D asset or a 2D asset, and a delivery of a frame itself. And from there you go on to delivering. At some point, when you are a producer, you are responsible for the entire project, and you have to. It's more people management. You have to work with a lot of people with different mindsets, and everybody is like you can put it in a different way. Everybody is an artist in their head.
Correct.
So everybody has a different way of working, and you have to find a common point between everybody and the project, and you have to work.
So just for our audience to understand, अगर आपको मान लीजिए एक मिनट का शॉट डिलीवर करना है जो which is a huge VFX heavy shot, how many people are we talking about in that shot? Like how many departments and how many people you have to coordinate with and deliver the shot on time?
So I'll give you an example. I was working on the sequence. It was an avalanche sequence in Bahubali, first one, and I don't know if you've seen. And it was a 1.5 minute sequence. Right? We had 4 minutes of footage, and we had to deliver the entire avalanche. We had to make. So we were dealing with a minimum of a 40-member team, because there were 5 people in assets, 4 people in the rotor paint department, or 7 people in the compositing department. Then there were other 5 people who were actually making the avalanche, the FX department, and you had to coordinate between all of them to get it right. Plus, you had a supervisor. So there was the team lead, and then each team had a lead, and then each team lead, the sequence had a comp supervisor, the sequence had a CG supervisor, and on top of all that was the VFX supervisor. On top of all of that was your director. So it was all that together, and you have to manage everybody. And when it comes to management, it's not just managing people; it's actually managing people's egos. So, and then you have to cut. Yeah, you have to, and you have to then not have that ego in you. You have to be able to work with every single artist to supervisor in the same way, and keep it very neutral. Your aim has to be to deliver.
Correct.
Your aim has to be that you have to deliver something at the right time, and it has to be a quality product, and you rely on your team to make sure that it is a quality product. So your aim is to make sure that you are constantly telling them that hey, we are reaching the delivery deadline, and we need to make sure this closes now. So where are we? So it's an accounting of work. It's more about, so you have to be very self-driven. This is not something that comes naturally to people.
Thankless job hai.
Yes, it is thankless, but it has its own fruits. When you see when you see the film in the end, what you've done, there will always be something, the creatives will always be like, oh, I missed this, I missed that. But for production, it will be like, oh my God, this actually delivered.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, and then you see yourself in the credit list, and you see yourself in a position in the credit list, and it feels great. It's a kick on its own.
So I think you've been doing this for a decade now, more than a decade,
2 decades, more than 2 decades now.
2 decades, more than 2 decades, that's what I'm saying. So what drives you? You said it's a self-driven job. What drives you?
Cinema. The love for filmmaking, I guess, and the love for watching really great minds put their talent together. And it's very interesting when you work with them, how they come up with things, how they put a frame together, and how things come together, whether it is sound or whether it is visual. How each and every block, so it's like a matrix, and it's more like a Tetris. Things have to fall into place together properly in time, otherwise you'll run out of everything. But I think it has to come from within. This is not something you can motivate in people. You can't motivate. How do I say it? You can't motivate a driving force. You can only want to learn this, and you can only want to be a part of the film. So it's a big.
Our log line, our tagline is "We make artists," and we have lately realized we can't if the artist is not ready to be made. So that's why we do these podcasts and tell people that it is inside you, we can help you, or else we can't, because you can't.
No, it's true. There is a spark. It has to be inside you. If it is there, and if there is somebody who's out there to recognize it, then it's great. You're very lucky, and I was very lucky. I was in Prana when I shifted my gear from being an artist to production, and my team completely supported. They were upset because an artist was turning into production. They were also very, very supportive of it. I had a 3-month deadline that if I can make it, then I can move forward, otherwise not. And then I continued to do that for another 3 years there in Prana. So that was very helpful for me as a stepping stone.
What was your thought process, or what was the punt which you take as an artist when you moved from an artist to production? Why did you do that? Like what was the motivation behind it? Why would an artist want to go to production?
So I think at the time my thought process was that I want to know how the whole thing is made and not just one part of the thing. And that's always been when I studied it also, and I studied in Arena, and when I was studying this, and when I went to UK and studied the course, I got to do like smaller, end-to-end films, smaller films, and 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, depending on what was required. And you get to see every process. So when you get to see every process, you're interested in every single process. You don't want to just do one thing. So that's where it started. It was honestly that. So somebody told me in the beginning of my career, or honestly, as a fresher, I didn't get jobs. I actually went to Prana and did not get a job. And they said, because we've got freshers, we don't require you. I went to another place.
Even though you were Videsh return?
Yeah. I was. I had
also does not cut.
Because as a fresher, तो आप fresher ही हो ना.
कहीं से भी हो.
I was coming back from London. I had credits to my qualification, but I was still a fresher and I hadn't done a job anywhere else. I had just done a apprenticeship with Aardman Studios, internship with Aardman, but that was not enough because we were not doing puppet work here. So, and this was Prana, and they just said that we don't require freshers. So come back when you've done something, and we'll see your work. So it so happened that a friend of mine started a studio, and I asked him that, I want to learn, and he said, okay, I can't pay you. So I said, it's okay, I just want to learn, and while I'm learning, I'll also work with your team. And I can speak and I can talk to your clients and I can do all that. So that's how we started working together. And that's where the King Circle thing happened. And then I got a job back in Prana. And because they had an opening for texturing artists, and we all applied and all of us got through. The 8 of us got through, and all in the same team. And I remember my then boss asked me that, didn't you apply earlier? I said, yeah, you didn't give me a job because I was a fresher. Now I'm not a fresher. But I want to work here. So it's also the thing of, where you want to work. I've always I've been very picky about where I wanted to work. I've never been like, okay, I'll take it wherever I get it. No. It's always been a choice that I want to work.
Now tell me the difference between a virtual production and a VFX producer. What are the differences?
So, see, fundamentally, it is the same. You are delivering a project. So the fundamentals of production does not change. Your departments are different. In VFX, you're working with a set of team members who are working in the same floor and are basically in tune with each other to deliver a project. Right? There are still different departments. So there's roto, paint, com, all that. In virtual production, VFX is one of the departments it's a go-to department. But you start with actually working with the director, the producer. You start with working with the DOP, the art director. And all these three need to work with your team, your young team, and they have to listen to your team to do their work. So that's where it starts. And so those are different egos. But it's great. It's great because you actually making that film together. You're making it together, so it's great fun. The team is smaller. Virtual production team is very small. We have just a 7-member team with us. And a huge 10,000 square feet space, 60 by 20 wall. It's like having a big TV in front of and you have to pull the vision of the director in front of that. And you have to work with the DOP, his vision. You have to work with the art director. You need to make sure that your digital set is in sync with what is required. So that is a major difference. Because in VFX, all that is done with the VFX supervisor. You can do it yourself also with your team. So you also have a VPS supervisor, just like a VFX supervisor. Same way you have a VFX producer, you have a VPS producer. But here you get to see all these people to work together. So you're on the floor, you're on the shooting floor on the days of shoot, and you're working with the team to deliver. So it's a different ballgame in that sense.
I would just shift this conversation towards skills and what makes a good VFX producer or a virtual, or just talk about producers, VFX producer, virtual producers. With us being women and being a part of an industry which is largely run by men, and however, whatever we made our space, and that's the best part of the story. बट आप अगर एक लड़की मान लीजिए अभी ये कॉन्वर्सेशन सुन रही है एंड शी इज़ गेटिंग एक्साइटेड आफ्टर लिसनिंग टू ऑल दीज थिंग्स एंड शी वॉन्ट्स टू टेक दिस पाथ, वेयर शुड शी स्टार्ट एंड वॉट आर द इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वालिटीज और स्किल सेट्स वुड यू सजेस्ट हर टू पिक, हिम और हर, बोथ ऑफ देम? लाइक वॉट शुड दे वर्क अपॉन? क्योंकि पीपल मैनेजमेंट तो नहीं सिखाया जा सकता है, वो तो इधर यू हैव इट और यू डोंट हैव इट, राइट?
Yeah, actually, honestly, if you have a love for the story, you should start from there. Because that is something that I had. I wanted to know how the story was going to be made. And what is the story and how is it going to be made? And then what are the elements that are required? And then from there, what are the departments that will be concerned about it? So if you have a love for the story, you can either go into direction or you can come into production. These are things that you can do. You can also choose other departments like cinematography, because those are more skill-based departments. But even in production, your love for seeing the story come alive is very important. And there is like a immense amount of focus that is required. You can't, kind of deter from your focus. You have to be very focused into delivering something. And no matter how many arguments you have in your team, no matter how many people that you cross bridges with, you still have to make sure that you work really well with them, and in future also we'll be working with them only. So you need to find a way to, if you're stepping over something, then you also need to find a way to work with them through the project. So it's about breaking the ice. It's about focus. And I would say
to become a producer, first you have to become an artist. So you have to specialize in something.
That's not necessary. In production, I had that opportunity and I took it. That was not the aim. People take a production job as freshers also. They are production runners. They take assistant production jobs. Either in films, they work with the production house, or if they're working in a place like, let's say I'm working in Annapurna, in the studio, I can work as in the production department here also. So in the VFX, I can be a coordinator or a runner, assistant runner. So I can directly apply for that job. In that case, your biggest strength has to be your communication skills. You have to be very good at it. You have to be able to articulate well. You have to be able to talk well. You have to be able to communicate really well. And you need to be able to write really well. Because that's expected of you.
So now you have to tell me one scene or movie which was looking impossible while it was on the delivery table and it was on the timeline, and then finally when you saw it on the big screen you were like, wow, I did it, we did it. वो because I don't want to know कि कौन सा दिन बहुत ख़राब था, क्योंकि बहुत से ख़राब दिन होंगे. मुझे अच्छे वाले दिन जानने में ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट है, क्योंकि I because we also write, produce and everything. Lot of people have told me, I have a lot of artist friends who have told me कि still when I see my name on the big screen, it is a kick. So
it's a kick.
Still date after 2 decades?
Yeah, of course it is. It's always a kick.
Achha.
It's the only thing that you're really running for. What else are you running for? You're not running for. I mean, yeah. I mean, there is you are doing. You have chosen to be a part of the industry where quite a lot of part of your job is extremely thankless. But then where do you get your kick from? You can't get it from anything other than the fame that you'll get the moment you go on this. Your name goes up on the screen, and the higher up in the team your name is, that's the kick.
Any particular movie or anywhere you remember कि when you saw it like खून पसीना मेरा सारा screen पे दिख रहा है and you're like
for me that is clearly Bahubali.
अच्छा
Yeah, because and the first one, because I actually didn't realize how big a film it is till it released.
Actually, and then nobody did. Actually, nobody did.
Nobody knew how big this film was going to be. And then when it did, it was the talk of town. It even today is the talk of town. 100%. After a decade, it is still a talk of town.
It changed the course of Indian cinema.
Yeah. And I got to work on it the second time now also. And it was an absolute pleasure. And the thing is, it was extremely daunting when we were delivering it. All the sequences, and there was this whole set of war sequences that had come to us, multiple shots that had come to us, which we had to redo. Redoing a shot is worse. I think it's the worst thing to do than making a shot, because in redo you are stuck with what is already given to you, and you need to make that better, and it's extremely challenging. And to be able to deliver that, and then see your name go up on the screen as the VFX producer of that particular organization, so your name is in the first 3 rows. And it's the most happiest feeling ever. And then of course, it's like the talk of your family all the time. It is like the talk of your friends all the time. Your parents are very proud of you. Everything is it's a kick. That never went away. It still hasn't gone away.
Yeah.
It's still
you have achieved Mount Everest, right?
Yes. That has always been the Mount Everest.
How many days Bahubali VFX took for both the movies?
I think for both the films, so it was a movie that started in 2014 and then went on all the way till 16. So there were 2 films that had to be delivered. I was working with this organization called Firefly Creative Studio. So they did the entire world building. So the pre-production was done there. And then we moved on to sequences. I joined in the second half of that part. And also did some parts of the second film. So till 2016 we were working on that film. So 4 or 5 years we were on that film. Other than other projects that were running, it was not exclusive in any way. But almost worked for 4 years in that.
Okay. So Zenji के अंदर तो इतना patience नहीं है. फिर कैसे हो गई? Zenji के अंदर तो इतना patience नहीं है.
But the thing is, I think
actually किसी के अंदर अभी इतना patience नहीं है.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to put prompt. Here it is. So now
but they're doing better things. I think they're doing far more because of the technology, and I think that is the reason I find virtual production very interesting, because it's technology versus creative, and you have to have spent some time in creative, for sure some years in creative before moving into a project like virtual production. Like you should have been a part of this whole creative design for some years at least. If you join as a fresher, then you were like going as a blind horse. If you join, do your whole grind in VFX, and projection mapping and things like that, AR, VR, then you will be far more. You will be able to contribute far more into virtual production than you realize. And when we started, all of us were coming from different departments of the industry. We were coming from different fields of the industry. I was coming from the production part of it and VFX. Prior to the organization here, Annapurna, I was working in something in Delhi in a company called SLAT. And we were doing AR, VR, experiential design spaces, projection mapping shows. So projection mapping really helped me understand the difference between size and scale.
What is projection mapping?
So it's basically, you can imagine you have an image that you want to just project, like how movies in theaters are projected on the screen. So instead of a screen, you're projecting it on a big facade. So it needs to follow the contours of the facade. It needs to follow. Every screen in the theater is a projection screen. It's run by a projector.
How does it?
Yeah. So when you learn projection mapping, you learn scale. And perception and perspective, and so in each field you learn something when you're doing it. You learn what alignment means. you know. And then when you are doing that same thing in virtual production, you realize the value of it. Because you can see that scale and you can say that, okay, something is working or not working. Virtual production wasn't something that was taught to us. All of us came at the same time and came from different fields, started working together. We did about 6-7 months of a run on it. And then we published and we were good. We are good now. Good. Right now our wall is in Chennai. So we are movable. We can move anywhere. So that helps a lot.
नहीं तो फिर आपका AI के ऊपर क्या टेक है? मतलब there is a lot of chatter, you know, कि AI आ जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा.
ये आना भी चाहिए. I mean, it is about intelligently using it. It's not about overstepping anybody else's job. And if they are, you know, that's what the Gen Z should be running on. The fuel for AI. Because they are much more intelligent, much more smarter. They are far more inclined towards, you know, things.
For sure.
Yes, absolutely. So they can pick up things much faster.
True.
You know, and they've got. See, we didn't. How do I put it? In the layman terms, I didn't get internet to grow up with. I got internet after I graduated and started working. So internet came much later in my life. So for them, they're born with it. It's right there, right around them all the time. Gadgets are around them all the time. Phones are around them all the time. I had my first phone when I started working. You know, and this was 2003. So the first 28, 21 years, I didn't have any phone disposition of. Now it's on your hands. Everything is right there for you to learn and reach out to. So the problem is, there you have to. So the kids, what they have to do is they have to make sure that they use it in a far more intelligent way. That's the only thing. We use it in films also. We use AI in films, but we don't use it for everything. You have to choose what you want to do. If it's a standalone shot, it's easier to do it. If it's a face swap, it's easier to do it. If it's so we're still figuring it out. Everybody's cracked it. Everybody's still figuring it out. And the good part about this is that you're across the world figuring it out together.
Of course.
You know, and that is something.
Technology works. Everybody figures it out together. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is something that we felt even with virtual production, that we were not alone. Everybody in the world was facing the same problems when we were doing it. And for once, it was not like a Pixar had already done it and they were 10 years ahead of us. We were in power with everybody in the world. You know, we were same timeline with everybody else in the world. We were doing the same things. We were tracking the same problems and we were facing the same problems. So we were able to talk to people across the world in different stages and ask them whether they were facing these problems or, you know, did they have solutions. And the good thing about people's mindset now is that they are happy to give those solutions to you.
Love to ask.
With regret. Without any kind of monetary connotation attached to it. It is so much easier to just pick up a phone and call an RE guy and say that, you know, hey, you know, in your state, are you facing this problem because we are facing this? You know, did you ever face it? Do you think there's a solution to it? There are more groups for that. There are more. That's where we feel that this is a better age to live in.
Of course, it's a reach out place. You can ask people. हमारे समय तो figure out करते थे ये किसके साथ हुआ होगा जो हमें बता सके. Mentorship,
yes.
You there were. In every field, there was one person who knew all, and then that person was done explaining it to everybody. Now, see, that's what happened. Information is democratized. So now, tell me one thing. What is the one tip you would want to give these aspiring artists, VFX artists, producers, virtual producers? Because, again, this has to be very focused. क्योंकि software हम सिखा देंगे, training हम दे देंगे. But when you finally reach on the floor, how are you going to survive? वो एक गुरु मंत्र क्या है जिससे survival होगा?
I think, see, for virtual production or for, you know, they're different. I think it's different for every line of work. But for virtual production, it is more about your eagerness to know technology and to work with technology. Although you're creative, you should also be inclined towards working with tech. The tech is not easy to learn. So the priority has to be to know what this tech is all about. If it was VFX, I would say just focus on your storytelling first. If it was animation, I would say that, you know, you have to have the kick of wanting to have watched all the Narutos of the world and the, you know, anime of the world and only then come into something like this, because it is going to really take your grind. But really, you have to go through the fundamentals. You have to learn the fundamentals really, really well. And institutes do that. They help you learn these fundamentals. But it is up to you. So I would never, honestly, even today, would never suggest virtual production to a person who's nascent, who's too new, because that doesn't bring you anything, and you'll get very bored of it. It can be extremely boring.
Of course. फ्रेम क्लीन करना कितना बोरिंग है एक रोटो आर्टिस्ट से पूछो कुछ फर्क नहीं है उसमें nothing is fancy there.
So you have to be very it takes days and days to figure out a tech. So you have to be
genuinely interested, like genuinely interested. There is no two ways about it. People have been doing this.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there is this kid who's working with us. Okay, I call him a kid because he's just about 24 now. He joined us 3 years back. He was just eligible to start working in the country, kind of guy. He sat at home in COVID and learned Unreal on his own. Okay, this was the batch that was learning on their own, right? All across the country there were people. We came across him. He went to a cinematography class, and there our virtual production cinematographer who just referred him to me. And we saw his work, and it was fantastic. It was world class work.
Because he was working on it, yeah.
Yeah, because he was on it all the time. Throughout the entire COVID, he was just doing that. He was that focused about it. And he's a world class artist. There's no doubt about it. And he's not even the elephant who doesn't know his strength. He knows his strength. He's
a dangerous elephant.
He's a very dangerous guy. But that's great.
Yeah,
and
that is what it is. You should play on your strengths. Yeah, that is what we always tell our students also. And
we would look out for only those kind of people. So they would be a little difficult to work with, but that's okay. So then you need the production people who don't have egos and they don't care and they just need to get the work done. So it doesn't matter your age, as long as you have talent, and it is recognized. I am happy to break my ego down and work with you.
Correct.
Because it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is, are we getting that product right on?
So when you hire people, what are the 3-4 things you keep in mind while hiring a person? मान लो आप वो 1-1.5 साल के एक्सपीरियंस से आ रहा है, या मान लो कोई फ्रेशर है वो आपके पास जॉब लेने आता है. What do you first judge them on?
So attitude, always. If the attitude is not right, it is just difficult, because the skill can be taught. Skill you pick up, you learn the tool, you learn the skill. But there is a certain attitude that you bring to the table, and that attitude is what matters everywhere. You have to be extremely humble. You have to be extremely polite. If you have ego, you have to have it for your work, not for anything else.
Correct.
So ego should be against you, like you should be against your ego. Mera kaam kahan hai? Like that kind of thing. Am I really good at it or not? That's your ego.
Correct.
And then you're God. But you can't come to a table in a room full of people and show attitude to them, because they're not going to care. They'll take it once. The second time they'll say bye-bye. Irrespective of how good you are. It doesn't matter.
Acha, this question comes to us very often, that the number of years of working in the industry is more important, or the variety of projects done is more important?
So I'm the kind of person who's on the second later part of your question.
Okay.
So I see, there is only one span. You have 25-30 years of industry life, right? You can have more if you're really good, or if you're really healthy. Either way, whichever comes first. But in this 30-40 years, you have to be able to want to do everything.
Correct.
And you have to choose your wins, and you have to be credible. There is a huge amount of credibility that you need to bring to the table. So you have to clock your ears in the organization. You can't jump the gun every 6 months. That doesn't help. Most of these new people,
VP support के तो बनाएंगे नहीं, बैठना पड़ेगा वहाँ पे.
Yeah, वहाँ बैठना पड़ेगा. And the thing is, we're very picky about whom we hire in this respect, because when we meet them, we realize this is not, ये लंबी रेस का घोड़ा नहीं है. This guy is going to
pressure आएगा तो सबसे पहले ये भागेगा.
This guy is going to jump to the next new offer, because they're so eager to earn. They're so eager to want to earn more money, and like how quickly they can earn more money, which is a great thing. There's no question about it. But
That is ambition, and that is okay. But I would want to count on you in a dire situation. I would want कि भाई मैंने बड़ा project लाया है तो deliver होगा कि नहीं, कि सबसे पहले तुम ही भाग जाओगे.
which is where the attitude comes. So if you really have that attitude to stay on, stick on, work, get it through, get your shot through, and even after you have clocked so many hours, want to see that does the film finally does look the way you wanted it to look. Do you have the patience? While you have the skill, do you really have the patience to get it right? So everything matters. But yeah, if you keep jumping and because you've got the next best offer lined up, you can only do that first few years of your life, work life. In my entire, I think I've done 23 years of a career, and in 23 years, this is my 5th job.
Achha, tell me one thing. I also wanted to ask you this question that scope, VFX का scope, virtual production का scope, अब तो AI आ रहा है, सब खत्म हो जाएगा. तो मैं जो अभी पढ़ रहा हूँ उसका तो क्या ही होगा. ये क्या ऐसा होने वाला है कि VFX आर्टिस्ट रिडंडेंट हो जाएंगे? ऐसा हो सकता है? ये कभी हो सकता है?
नहीं हो सकता. It's not possible. We are the most intelligent species, but we're not that intelligent also. It's going to take, because our tech is not that intelligent. We're trying to make it. It's something that we are constantly making, and we are meeting every other day. I meet somebody who's done moved 2 steps ahead with AI. You know, we thought was far left behind now. So that is happening every day. But see, I can't bring it in films completely because then you'll have a product like Mahabharat on Hotstar. And I don't want to do that.
Correct.
I don't like that. I don't appreciate it. The only thing I appreciated in that when I saw the first episode, was that they were able to retain the face of one of the characters better. वो भी जा रहा था, but it was far better than what we are able to achieve. So you have to recognize this, that tech is there, but tech is only there if you are creative enough to use it. You're intelligent enough to use it. Tech is not there otherwise. And you will not be able to intelligently use tech if you don't have a creative mind.
Correct. And if you can't make judge right and wrong. प्रॉम्प्ट भी लिखने के लिए एक तो अंग्रेजी आनी चाहिए, दूसरा आपको पता होना चाहिए कि प्रॉम्प्ट में लिखना क्या है और प्रॉम्प्ट में क्या कह रहा है.
And we have to accept, although I would love to say that, hey, go through the gun grind, clock your years in the industry, pull through everything, do the right thing. No, it's not like that. Because if you're that intelligent, you should be on the top.
Correct.
You should be right up there, even at a young age. As long as you can have the patience and the aptitude to keep it together.
True.
At that point, you will need a counselor because you need to do that. You need to focus on
then this is where you need a mentor. I always tell my students that find a mentor in the industry, somebody who has done this all, and they can give you some secret way of not being burned out so quick.
And one person's journey is not the same as the other.
Exactly.
So even in mentorship, you have to be very careful about whom you're mentoring and how you're mentoring. And everybody is not the same. Everybody is not on the same stage. The kid I was talking about, eventually that kid does have other problems. He's a little dark inside, and you have to keep bringing him back that, okay, you're doing a really good thing. You're really doing a good thing. Really doing a good thing. Keep pulling him back into reality, and you're like, okay, but then he's so good. So you feel like, okay, wow, so there's this and there is also this other thing. So it's about attitude, aptitude. You have to be world class. That is there. Your skill is everything. The way you work is everything. And there is nothing like, if you're a Gen Z, you cannot do it. You can, because you're that good.
They are doing everything. They are doing it. 93% of them are calling them content creators.
I find them much smarter than us at this point.
They are totally. But I now want to ask you a question about content. आप क्या content consume करते हो? So when you want to just shut your brain down and you are moving from one project to another and you just want to find some motivation, something to some imagination, आप कहाँ जाते हो? आप memes देखते हो, आप reels देखते हो, आप पिक्चरें देखते हो, और पिक्चरें देखते हो तो कैसी पिक्चरें देखते हो? VFX पिक्चरें देखते हो?
No.
See, I knew it.
World cinema. I like world cinema. I like drama. I like true crime documentaries. That's my favorite. I love them.
All-time favorite.
My favorite is anime. I will watch anime any day more than anything else. But other than that, I also would encourage people who are at some point making this their career to have something else along with it. This can't be their only. Like for example, I have my own brand of baked treats. I bake treats, so I bake, and that is something. It's like a solace. You go to it. It's for cats and dogs. So you go to it when you want to release your mind of something like this, because you can't hold on to only one thing. You need to be able to do more things, and that comes with entrepreneurship.
I go to the gym.
Yeah, good for you. Right. I should do
And I'm a
that. I should-
perfect dancer also.
It's great. See, you have something. So that same day,
Yeah.
I have something. I need to do that. Otherwise, I will not be able to put everything in only one.
This is very important. वो जो steam off करना है ना, वो steam off उतना ही जरूरी है जितना आपको steam लेना जरूरी है. तो that's
Yeah.
very important. So any movie suggestions you can give to our students? VFX, non-VFX, anything like storyline. देखो, good movie.
Okay, if you really want to go in for a good movie in the 80s, which was not VFX inclined and more puppet based, would be A Never-Ending Story. It's a beautiful film to watch, especially for kids. It's a great film to watch. I still watch it. It's really amazing. Of course, there's Star Wars always. There's always Star Wars, and there's the whole the RoboCop was great. I used to love RoboCop when it came out.
Initial Jurassic Parks also.
Oh yeah, all the Jurassic. So there's a funny story. I was in 8th class, I think, when the first Jurassic Park came out, and we were taken by the school to watch the film. And I remember how horrified I was, and I cried because I got scared.
I know. Now when we look at it, we're like, यार कितना ahead time था यार ये कितना ahead time था. It's still more.
No, it was very ahead of its time. Even today, when I watch it, I find it really,
Amazingly.
And, yeah, it's fantastic. So yeah, and also all kinds of, and I also love watching, all these black and white Hindi films of that, and watch like Satyajit Ray films or watch films for filmmaking where there are storytelling. There's like serious storytelling involved. Watch things like that because that really motivates you. VFX तो होता रहेगा. VFX is a part of your. So for me, VFX is a part of my work life. So I find it very interesting that and I can spot if the VFX is not looking very good. Like my
Are you able to watch movies peacefully? Like अगर
happy. Switch off.
heavy picture देख रहे हो और आपके सामने कुछ है और and you are like अरे यार ये क्या कर रहे हो, ये तो blend नहीं हो रहा, ये तो move कर रहा है. आप मतलब are you able to switch it off?
Yeah, I'm able to switch it off to a certain extent. If it's really bad, I can't. Then I'll be just like, what have you done, man?
Why?
I was watching.
मुझे फोन करते थे.
I was watching Delhi Crimes अभी जो latest परसों निकली है Netflix पे, and it's nicely done. ठीक है, मतलब not bad. I wish they had paid attention to something, but then I could very quickly find the continuity jumps and things like that, and I was just like,
नहीं.
Yeah, so a real moment comes there.
Yeah.
थोड़ा तो attention they should have paid.
I know. Yeah, so I know you are a super busy person and we can keep doing this all day. My VFX and films are my favorite topic to discuss, but thank you so much for doing this with us, and we will be getting more questions. ऐसे बहुत सवाल आते हैं हमारे पास, and we try to bring these answers from industry veterans and people like you who can legitly give an answer to these questions, and we will stay in touch with you, and whenever you are in Mumbai, please come and see us. Whenever we are there, we will for sure come, because I have to still see you. आपका बड़ा picture जो आपने मुझे भी explain किया ना, I have to come and see that studio. It sounds very interesting to me.
But if you are at any time going to Chennai, then that's where our stage is right now. So I can connect you there for you to just go and have a visit.
Yeah, sure. Thank